Monday, November 30th. Welcome back from Thanksgiving break. We go into the home stretch here of 2015. Let's start with the big news story of the weekend, which is obviously Kobe Bryant's retirement. So why are you guys shaking your head? I know what you're thinking. Patriots lose. I put them in the second. People are saying this is the Michael Jordan of our generation. So let's not shake our heads. I didn't ask Kobe to retire yesterday, but he did. And that's the way it's. We're going to talk about the Patriots. So
you are a joke.
It's what week is it? What week are we?
Well, let's see what PTI starts today with. And
week are we? But we're not PTI.
Our subjects always mirrored. Generally, the Patriots are always topic number one on a Monday. Today, it's going to be Trump by Kobe Bryant.
Every single Monday in the NFL season, we start with NFL football. Except for
just so happens. The player of probably the last 2 decades announced his retirement with a silly little poem on the Players Tribune.
Dude, Kobe could have got shot and murdered, and if the Pats won yesterday, we'd be talking NFL.
That's not true, Kevin. Do we want to talk about the subject, or you guys want to hijack the show? I'm going to try to be as level-headed and as good a host as I can possibly be.
Oh, for once. Congrats.
Yeah, for once. So do we want to talk about this? Because I wrote a blog about it. First things first, he raped somebody. Let's not forget that. That always gets overlooked in everything we talk about Kobe. He basically admitted he got raped. He bought that chick off. Whatever. He's putting out these hats now, by the way. I don't know if you saw them. It's like hero villain. It's like HV, hero villain. You can't do that when you're actually a villain. Like, you got to do that when you're a villain on the court, not when you're actually, I think, raped a chick. So I do have a problem with that. If you guys want to go there, that's fine. The stuff, the poem, Kobe has the weirdest image of like himself in his head. Like, I wrote this, I believe it. I think he had a quill pen to write this poem, and then he like sent it to the Players Tribune, and they put it on. What, KFC? You're shaking your head.
What are you talking about? We're talking about Kobe's hats and quill pens after everything that happened last night. This is so stupid. This show sucks.
I just love Dave telling us that
villains. What are we talking about?
Kobe is an egomaniac. Oh man, yes, right. Kobe's an egomaniac, Dave. I agree. He's copying MJ like he's done for his entire career. MJ's retirement letter was the exact same start. Dear basketball. He wrote a letter to basketball. That's what Kobe does. He does what MJ does, except just slightly different to make everyone be like, huh, where's this from? Kobe's so cool. He's a legend. I'm not going to diss him. I don't like him, but he's an all-time great. And it was a genius move by him because he knew that the rest of the season was going to be everyone's sharing vines and videos of Kobe sucking. And now, instead, everyone's got to be like, Kobe's a legend. We love him. We're going to miss him. And he changed the whole narrative.
Yeah, but I feel like that he kind of deserves that. Like, for him to go out.
Absolutely.
So I think it's good. I'm a Kobe fan. I don't really care about the rape thing. If I'm a bad person, I'm a bad person. That's not why I watch sports. I liked Kobe. I think he's a crazy competitor. I liked watching him do the things he did on the court. So I was sad to watch him go down the way he was going down. So I'm happy that it at least will kind of be focusing on the good side of Kobe.
Is he like? I know he loves to portray himself as a villain, but is he really out? I guess you take out the rape thing, which makes you the villain, but I don't think that's what he's talking about.
That's the point with Kobe. You can never tell because he wants to be Michael Jordan so badly that you don't know like where Kobe's personality and Michael Jordan's stop and start. So I do think I think he's a badass, but I don't really know.
I don't think
he's mimicked everything after Michael Jordan.
But Jordan wasn't a villain.
What? But he's a badass. Like, he's a badass on the court. Like,
those are two totally different things, though.
Yeah, I got that. But he just tries to be like a tough ass. Like, he'll yell at his teammates and like make his teammates cry. And like if his teammates suck, he just will pass them the ball and not shoot and make them like suck on their own on the court. Like shit like that. Like
I like that stuff.
That's similar to what Michael Jordan did.
Kobe was kind of like unfairly the product of being too close to Jordan. Because I do think Jordan influenced a lot of the way he behaved, and that's a good thing. But because they almost became contemporaries, It was like you're a copycat. When in reality, it was like, no, I'm making my game after the best player of all time, and I'm pretty damn close to it.
I still in the. I don't. I think
you
Jordan,
should like Kobe, Dave.
I should like Kobe.
Yeah, he's not, everything you hate in LeBron. Kobe's the opposite.
Embraces the villain.
Yeah, but I don't think he's really a villain. I feel like it's kind of forced.
No excuses.
Yeah.
I feel like it's sort of forced with him. And Jordan, by the way, I still don't get that comparison. I know what you're saying, badass versus villain. Those are like two totally – villain is very different than a badass. Like Bird was a badass. Jordan was a badass. Kobe's a badass. But Kobe's not like a villain. Like
are we hung up on some stupid hat?
No, it's his whole thing. It's how he wants to be remembered. I think he wants to be the villain. I don't think
he wants to be remembered as a villain. I think he wants to be remembered as a badass,
just like Jordan. Why would you just put out a hat when you retire that says hero villain?
Why are we even talking about this? I haven't even seen this hat. What are we even talking about?
I'll blog it and you can do it. It's his own hat. He just put it out.
This job you've done here, Portnoy. It's unbelievable. You're such a dick. It's ridiculous. And because you have two like rational guys who are going to talk sports, it's like, all right, I'll talk about Kobe, whatever. Who cares? But this is just you and your fucking media spin zone trying to deflect.
Not at all, Kevin. I think we can agree he's the most important player in the last 20 years in the NBA. All right,
so
fine.
Lame.
All right, then we'll go. I mean, it's like you're acting like we're not going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. We'll talk now.
Either way, you should love Kobe.
Why? Hello?
You should love Kobe, Dave. You should love Kobe.
Why?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
hear me. Yeah. Oh, you should love Kobe. If you stand for everything you've written about LeBron, you should love Kobe.
Yeah, but again, you forget things like the Celtics went to war with him.
Oh, I don't forget it. I'm just saying. Like,
so why would I love that guy? It's almost like at the end of it, I can respect it, but I'm not going to love somebody that.
Right. I don't forget it, Dave. I'm saying you should look back at Kobe's career and be like, that's the kind of guy I like, because that's what you always talk about.
He just pushed it a little too hard for me. NFL. So NFL Monday, which we always get into, Patriots lost. Everybody saw that. I'm actually in a great mood, to be honest, because it looked – I didn't even care about the game when they lost. It was very strange because the Gronk injury, we lose Gronk, it lights out. So it really looked like the season went down the tubes in about a minute to a minute and a half, and I was having a heart attack. I should have known it. I wrote this. People may not believe it. I was watching the game. My dog was just sleeping like she always does. She got up, just puked, and I was like, that's the first time this season I got nervous. And then everything started going to hell. It's a loss, but to be honest, John and I were talking about this, Feidelberg. We're talking about that. I didn't expect them to go undefeated once Amendola, once Edelman, all these guys started going down. I knew that 16-0 now, the regular season, was probably not going to happen. So I don't care so much about the loss. It's disappointing now that the dust has settled. I know Gronk's maybe going to play this week. It's disappointing as a football fan to have to watch what's happening in the NFL with the referee situation. And I wrote this, and I'm dead serious. You can't, the calls they're making at the end of the games, which cost the Patriots the game. Nobody's going to debate that. We don't even have to debate that. But you cannot call these ticky-tack, not just with the Patriots, anybody. You got to swallow your whistles, and unless it's blatant, pass interference or blatant holding at the end of the game, you can't make these calls. The Gronk offensive pass interference was a horrible call. The holding in the end zone, which cost them the game, was horrible. Doesn't take it away from the fact that, we get the grocery guy dropping that punt because he's like our sixth string. If he catches that punt, game's over. But it is what it is. I feel very confident, very happy with where I'm at, and blessed still to be a Patriot fan. Now the regular season, you can kind of lay off a little bit, and we'll see what happens, and we'll still win the Super Bowl. Congratulations. You guys both won. Yeah, you guys both won. So congratulations to that. KFC.
Now we'll start with Dan because Dan was on the Broncos the whole time. You guys went to war over it, so we start with Big Cat.
The Broncos aren't good.
I mean, they stopped your run. You couldn't run the ball when you needed to. When you needed to get 3 first downs to win the game. At the end of the game, you had to pass.
We're not.
That's when Gronk got injured.
Yeah, but the running game. The reason we're not a running team.
Okay, but you have to be able to run the ball when you need first downs at the end of games. You're trying to kill the clock.
That's not how the Patriots generally kill the clock.
Their running game was non-existent last night. That's neither here nor there. I just don't. your whole thing with like how you cheer and how you go about everything is just so nauseating at this point. Dave, do you realize I wrote the same blog that you wrote about the NFL officiating last week?
Yeah, I know.
And you said that I was crazy and I was a troll, and then it happens to your team and you cry and you say it's not fair. And this is how it goes. The Patriots are the most injured team in the league. The Patriots, but next man up, Bill Belichick. Next man up. Which one is it? Which one is it? I don't know.
But you got to remember, this is a 10-1 football team. It's a 10-1 football team. It's not a 4-7 team.
Can I finish? Because then you say there's a JV squad against the Broncos. The Broncos are starting a guy, his second start in NFL, his NFL career, his second start. But the Patriots are the only ones with injuries, right?
By choice.
And then you say, oh well, Amendola and Edelman, they're just like these scrappy, great white guys that go over the middle. You think a fucking 160-pound white guy might not be able to make it through a 16-game season? Like, injuries happen to every single team. You guys just go back and forth, and it's just whatever's convenient for you. That's what you do that day. We don't start the rundown with the Patriots because they lost. Like, that's the saddest thing I've ever seen.
Kobe retired. I'll refute your points. First of all, if Peyton Manning didn't stink and wasn't old, he would have played. Osweiler is who they're choosing to play quarterback. That's not an injury. That's your quarterback stinks.
Injured, but yes,
Big bad Brock Osweiler is now. You're going to be like, well, he's a formidable opponent.
No, but it's not an injury. That's their team.
Dave, when I said about the Broncos looking good, it was Peyton Manning against the Packers when he looked healthy and good. He got hurt. He's out.
Peyton Manning's had like
the problem is you don't watch any other game besides the Patriots. So when I try to talk to you
watch
about
football
this,
all day.
I don't know.
You're saying you think Peyton Manning is they're going to play him if?
Dave,
wait, I'm confused.
You keep
I'm confused.
on saying,
do you think Peyton Manning is benched because he stinks or he's hurt?
The Broncos are good. Big Cat's an idiot. I said the Broncos looked good the week after they beat the Packers, and Peyton Manning looked awesome because he had a rest. He was rested. His arm looks good. He made the throws. Look, things change. You just stick and pick and cherry pick whatever works for you in your convenient Patriots argument.
I'm not. You're ignoring facts. Peyton Manning is not really an injury situation. You can say it's an old situation.
He's injured, but okay.
Okay, so you think if he's healthy, he's going to play?
When I said Peyton Manning, oh my God,
that's a simple question. He could have played last week.
No, he couldn't have. He was fucking injured.
You're so naive. You don't think Peyton Manning could have played last night?
No. Not with how bad he was 2 weeks ago.
He's bad because he stinks now, Dan.
Right.
I don't even care about Peyton Manning. The more to the point is how, the complaining about the referees and injuries in the NFL is such a waste of fucking time, Dave. Every single game ever has had injuries and bad refs, especially this season. It's week 11. Everybody's injured. The Pats have a few more injuries. Yeah, I get it. So what? Fucking deal with it. You're big.
We are dealing with. We're 10-1.
Belichick, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, but the refs and injured. It's just fucking excuse after excuse.
Here's what you guys. Here's what you guys are missing. We're 10-1. They are dealing with the injuries.
You wouldn't know by your Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Again,
because we're trying to go undefeated, fellas.
Also, obviously Gronk looked injured, and I understand the doom and gloom. But then when it turns out he's okay, it's like, Jesus Christ. The dramatics from Gronk, the dramatics from the fucking fans. You guys are just so over the top right now.
We're not over the top, Kevin. Kevin, here's the difference. Here's the difference between me and you. We're a healthy Gronk is a Super Bowl victory. So if you care about football and you care about winning the Super Bowl, you have a right to be dramatic. There is no player in the history of the Gents franchise at any point where you're like injured, oh, there goes the Super Bowl. For us, it is. That's what we're dealing with. It's like that the Super Bowl is on the line whether he gets up or down. So Pats fans have the right to be dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true? What I said is not true?
No, yeah, no, I absolutely. I'm just saying you guys are very, very over the top these days about referees and injuries. Very.
And what about Dave? In 2013, you tweet, no ref decided a game. The players decide the game. You just cherry pick whatever's convenient for you at the moment.
Cherry pick. I'm watching the game. You just cherry picked a 2013 tweet?
Because you go back and forth. Last week, the refs didn't matter. Last week, Sammy Watkins
refs were probably better in 2013.
Dave, last week Sammy Watkins gets blown. The whistle blows and he's inbounds, and the Bills don't get a final play. You don't say a fucking word about how bad the refs are. This week it goes against you, and you cry and you complain and you write 5 blogs about it. That's what cherry picking is.
You wanted me to write a blog about the
losing, just being like we lost.
That had nothing to do with it. The Bills thing had zero. The Bills guy, first of all, people said that was the right call because you can't go backwards out of bounds. But that had nothing to do with the game.
Dave, I mean, I'm asking you to. I've written blogs all season long about how bad the refs are, even when it doesn't impact the Bears.
The refs were bad. It affected us. I wrote a blog. What's the problem? You're not even denying that I'm right.
Bad every week, and every team is the victim of bad calls. Most football fans say, you know what? I'm not going to complain about the refs because we should have won that game because of the drop punt. Because of a million other reasons.
Because we couldn't stop the run. Because we couldn't run the ball.
Did you see
the thing? Did
you see the thing I posted? First of all, two things. And we're going around circles. You guys just hate the Patriots and hate me and have been waiting for this moment.
I don't.
But did you see? Did you see the thing I posted?
I hate you. I do not hate the Patriots.
Both. Skip Bayless and Stuart Scott saying the game was all about the officials. Tom Brady. So you're saying Tom Brady shouldn't have complained today?
Wait, you just quoted a master troll and a dead guy?
No, but they both not Stuart Scott. Those Skip Bayless. What? No, the other guy. Stephen A. They both fucking agreed with each other. They never do that.
You're getting your arguments from First Take now. That's all I needed to hear.
But they never agree.
Dave, to answer your question, do I think Tom Brady should have not been complaining about the refs today? Yeah, I don't think he should have been complaining about the refs. I think complaining about the refs is for bitches.
For bitches.
Yeah. I think it's a pussy. It's a pussy move to just be like, the refs took it from us. Like, no, you should have won the game anyway. People overcome adversity all the time. People deal with bad calls all the time. You shouldn't be complaining about it, and your quarterback shouldn't be complaining about it.
So do the Patriots. They're 10-1. They're 10-1.
We wouldn't know. We wouldn't know if we looked at how you act every single week.
Okay. Well,
if things are going well, you murder everyone. If things are going bad, the refs stink.
No, it isn't. Last week when they won, last week it's the same thing. Anytime a Patriot fan says it's a bad call, it's like we're the only team that complains about bad calls.
Dave, that's not how you do it, though. You don't.
What do you mean that's not how I do it?
Dave, you write 7 blogs and you fucking retweet every screen grab on the internet, and you say how Goodell is calling the refs. You do not just simply say that was a bad call.
It was there were 2 calls in the last 5 minutes of the game that probably cost them the game. That's kind of important.
I can't believe you like Tom Brady complaining about the refs today. That is like, I would never in a million years like that.
He said it the right way. He's saying what I did. He's saying the same exact thing. He's like, every single call went against us. It's kind of weird.
I would be upset with fucking Fitzpatrick complaining about the refs, let alone Super Bowl, Hall of Fame, MVP, best quarterback ever, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady can do whatever he wants when you're 10-1 and you're the best of all time.
And so you know that every single little fucking girl.
Did you see this report that the NFL specifically said they're going to target Gronk in the way he plays because no one can stop him?
What report? From one guy, anecdotal evidence from Scott Zolak?
Anecdotal. Hey, yo. Anecdotal evidence launched Deflategate.
He's a moron to you half the time. And then when he actually is on your side, you're like, I love Scott Zolak.
Cherry pick.
That's cherry picking.
Zolak's a what?
You hate that guy. You said you hate that guy.
But what do you say? Zolak's a moron to me?
No, you always are like, I don't like Scott Zolak. He pulled advertising from us like
That's
10
true.
years ago. Then the one time he gives you a piece of information that helps your fucking like crazy conspiracy theories, you're like, Scott Zolak, you see that report? That was fucking great.
No, again, you're cherry picking because the Zolak stuff's been going on now since Media Day last year that I've been retweeting his stuff. So I mean, you're cherry picking. You guys are mad. Your entire argument seems to boil down to the refs, which I guess you agree with, played a major factor in the Patriots losing yesterday. They're 10-1, and I shouldn't complain about it?
Correct! God, just don't complain like a little fucking girl one time.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the fact that we're like clashing on this is like, I, as a sports fan, wouldn't cry about the refs and wouldn't cry about injuries knowing that every other team in the league has to deal with them, and yet you feel like you and the Patriots are the only people suffering from it. It's crazy.
How am I crying about injuries? It sucks that we're injured, but the facts are it's affecting what's out there, and if Gronk goes down, we don't win the Super Bowl. That's not crying about injuries. I mean, what? It's next man up, do your job. They're 10-1, and I think we'll be healthy for the playoffs and win the Super Bowl.
Talking out of both sides of your mouth.
No, you talk out of both sides of your mouth.
Why not?
You are though. There's nothing. The only thing that you guys, I guess, would have been happy. Denver stinks. Like Denver. This Patriot team is a wounded animal that walked in there. If you can't beat them last night,
talking out of both sides of your mouth here. But here we go. Like you just did that. You just did exactly what I said.
It's kill everybody tour until like, oh wait a minute, we're down a couple guys. We might not win. So now we're a wounded animal. We're supposed to lose.
If you go read my blogs, I have consistently for the last 2 to 3 weeks been like, let's just get healthy, and the undefeated thing I'm not worried about. So you just ignore most of what I say because I'm bombastic and we constantly win and you feel bad. So you hear what you want to hear. But I've been saying for now 2 to 3 weeks, we're so wounded, we just got to get everybody back for the playoffs. That's all I've been saying. I don't care about undefeated anymore. I expected to lose a game because of where the injuries.
This is crazy that you are so crazy that you actually think that. You think that right now the way you've behaved, your persona with the Patriots right now is let's just get healthy and we don't care about. I mean, get the fuck out of here, dude. That is not even a little bit of who you are as a Pats fan.
Yeah.
It's not who I am, Kevin.
Kill
it's
everyone.
Not who I am. It's what we are. It's like this is where we are. This is the cards we have right now.
That is reality. That's not how you act.
Of course that's how I act.
Dave.
If you acted that way, I would have been like, yeah, well, here it is what it is. He said they're injured. The refs kind of stunk. They don't really care. They're just going to go to the Super Bowl. And instead, it's like you had to kill everybody tour. In the first quarter, you're tweeting how the game's already over after you got
I thought it was.
Chirp, 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 chirp. And then you
buy tickets to the Super Bowl.
I did buy tickets to the Super Bowl.
You're a fucking bitch about it.
I did buy tickets to the Super Bowl. I thought the game was over. I didn't know the refs were going to do a bag job and Gronk would get hurt. There's a lot of things I didn't know.
I just wish you'd be able to look in the mirror once.
I wish you two would be able to look in the mirror. I wish you two would be able to look in the mirror. This is your thing. You guys like tagging up in a tag team. It's a 2-on-1 handicap match, and thankfully, I've brought enough shoulders where I can handle it. Let's go to the commercial break. We're back. College football now. The playoff is set. I think we're gonna. Well, no, it's not set because I think there's a legitimate chance that North Carolina could beat Clemson. But Alabama appears to be in, unless Florida, the worst SEC championship game of all time. It looks like the Big Ten is a play-in game now with Iowa and Michigan State. Oklahoma is in, and if Clemson wins, they're in. So a pretty good Final Four. KFC, you don't watch college football, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to shout out to Rico, though. He was up like 27 units, I believe.
Was he?
Rico got the...
He's moving merch. He's winners. Thank you, Rico.
The worst thing I ever did was putting those Rico Ryder shirts on sale because he texts me like, not text, but hits me up like, how we doing? You've sold like 4.
I was going to say, if you gave Rico your phone number, you're a fucking idiot.
No. Oh, I would never do that.
You send me a DM.
You've maybe sold 4 to 5 shirts. You've made a unit.
That is 1 unit for Rico. He got lucky. I bet it too. The Alabama game was.
Oh yeah, that was.
I mean, you can't. Rico went up and was like, "I'm unstoppable on mortal locks." You can't puff your chest out when Alabama gets stopped 4th and inches. Like Derrick Henry goes an inch more and the game's over, and then the next play runs for a touchdown to cover.
Or if the Auburn guy just doesn't drop the most like in your easy like 7-yard crossing pattern for a first down. Bama had no business covering that game. So
I thought Rico was going to have a fucking heart attack with when Stanford wasn't calling those timeouts. He was going ballistic. Yeah,
I got a question. Yeah, that Stanford Notre Dame game was great. That was a fantastic game. I have a question for you, Dave. Do you think there's a chance Urban Meyer murdered the Patriots?
Nope. I'll
be honest. I'm going to take that a step further real quick. I don't think it was Urban Meyer. I think it was Ohio State. I think it was you. You failed the 6, 12, 18, 24 challenge. You faked it. You were a fraud. You're a phony. And everything you stand for after that comes collapsing down.
What I love is we're talking about the Patriots being murdered when they're the favorite for the Super Bowl. They're the only team in the history of the world who everybody can celebrate. It's like the Miracle on Ice. This is bigger than USA beating the Russians because the Patriots lost at Denver 1 week.
Dave,
do you want to talk about Michigan?
Are you so dense that you didn't catch on I was mocking you to your face?
Did you want to talk about Michigan?
Sure, they suck. That was an embarrassment.
And here's where you guys haven't picked up on all these years how I always tell the truth. Michigan got beat bad. I'm here to say
don't
it.
Say
like
that.
where the refs, where I said Denver stinks, Ohio State, and they may still sneak in because a lot of people are saying if Clemson loses, they're in. And guess what? They'll be the favorite if they get in.
I think they would. I think they'd win it all. The Ohio State we saw against Michigan, like where the fuck was that all year, guys?
And I wrote that I'd actually, if Ohio State didn't get in, I would be more mad as an Ohio State fan than I am as a Michigan fan because Michigan is not ready for the big time. That is obvious. They got torched. I raised my hand, and again, you guys will never give me credit for this, and we'll go 2 years down the road how I always blame things. That team would have beat us 100 out of 100 times. I watched it. I was with sales guy Lewis. I said this is a debacle. This is embarrassing. We aren't very good. They're way better than us. I wrote it. I put my hand up. I didn't blame anybody. Credit to Ohio State. They're better than Michigan. So I admit it when I see it. That wasn't the case with the Patriots. Totally different ball game. But I say what I see, which I never get credit for. However, if I was an Ohio State, I can live with that, by the way. I'm not one of these losers like you two who sing, Margaritaville and stuff at Cubs games when you got swept out of the playoffs and shit like that. Second place is the first loser for me. So if Michigan's not ready, they're not ready. Fine. We will be ready. We'll eventually get better. It is what it is. But Ohio State, I'd be livid if I was an Ohio State fan. I didn't make the playoffs after that egg they laid against MSU. By the way, MSU is reminding me now the way they killed Penn State. I think they're going to win the whole thing if Ohio State doesn't get in it.
I think Iowa can beat Michigan State.
That'll be an interesting game. Trent's going. So kudos to me for wearing it like a man. It was tough to be a Michigan man that day. Olivia Culpo.
You were radio silent for like the whole day, but yeah, it was tough.
I was not radio silent at all. I was there doing it. I had to do something. I missed like the first 7 minutes of the game. I had to work. I worked 24/7.
The big game.
I was doing Barstool. Huh?
Yeah. You're an NFL guy anyway. Well, not this week, but next week you'll probably be an NFL guy.
I'm an NFL guy more. And again, just because the miracle on ice, because we lose a Week 11 game, I'm not going to cry. We'll still win the Super Bowl, and I'll be there to rub it in both your guys' faces, and I'll be right again. I'm right all the time. Olivia.
You were literally crying last night.
I was upset.
On video.
I wasn't crying, but I was upset. And you again, Dan, you've never had a player you're like, oh, there goes the Super Bowl. I want to win Super Bowls. That's why you're in this business, to win Super Bowls.
By the way, Greg Olson put you in a fucking casket.
He didn't put me in a fucking casket.
He fucking buried you.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Bro.
You know what you two are? You're like two comment section geeks. You just leave comments and do whatever you want. Do you want to keep this rundown going? Olivia Culpo dumps Tim Tebow because he wouldn't have sex. Or do we want to talk about that?
I still think Tebow bangs chicks.
No, he doesn't.
I don't think so. I don't think he does.
I feel like even this is like he has to keep up, like he's not having sex with his girlfriend because it's too like high profile. He's got to be fucking chicks on the side somewhere.
If you're having sex with girls, you have sex with Olivia Culpo, period.
And the problem is Tebow, like Olivia Culpo, wakes up and looks at Tebow and is probably wet and as shit because Tebow's a good looking dude.
A lot of people say he looks like me a little bit.
Nobody has ever said that ever.
I swear to God.
He does have a kind of a weird nose that maybe be where there's like some little connection. The only bad part of him is a weird nose. Nobody says you look like Tim Tebow.
He's in better shape.
Dude, you have such an uncanny ability, like when you know like that we just hate your guts, to just like keep throwing just absurd shit at the wall.
That's how the subject's gonna end.
It's like, well, it's just you just I don't know what it is. It's actually might be your only redeeming quality because you keep doubling down with fucking absurd shit until you make us laugh. And then we're like, fuck. Like that was actually funny because it was so absurd.
Let me tell you something. People, I wish we could rewind. I've been so right 99.9% of the time about every Patriot-related topic, and you guys make it sound like I'm fucking crazy. I got a million rings that say I'm not crazy. It's insane that we do. And the Broncos stink.
Won one Super Bowl in a decade.
The Broncos stink. Look at you laughing, Kevin. Look at you. Well, you don't even
He's flashing out.
Here we go.
No, it's like this guy acts like he knows what the fuck he's talking about. It's like, oh, why are people so dramatic when Gronk gets hurt? Like it's only one play.
You guys were you're 10-1. You found out he's fine. People are still smashing windows and mirrors and freaking out and crying. This is coming from like the big bad Patriots who don't care about regular season games. Everything's fine. Calm down. Shut up.
Yeah, but one. Yeah, he got taken out. I haven't seen Hart and Carter
like that. He was walking around. I mean, with the dramatics. Nothing was even wrong with him.
Can I say something about Gronk real quick? Because, Dave, I think you're like a crybaby about injuries, and you talk out of both sides of your mouth. You're like, next man up. But we have a 6-string guy catching punts. It's bullshit. But I will agree with you on one thing. A healthy Gronk is the difference maker. I would contend that he's the best player in the entire NFL. With all that said, did Gronk kind of act like a pussy?
No.
Dude, nothing is wrong with you.
He's fine if he's not going to miss a game?
It was the Paul Pierce show. Put me in a fucking wheelchair. Oh, wait,
I like Gronk a lot. And like I just said, he's the best. He is the best player in the NFL. He changes the NFL more than any other player in the entire league. So I actually understood the craziness about Gronk. The other injury shit is bullshit because you guys could pretend like you're the only team that's injured. Gronk makes sense to me, but Gronk...
We don't act like we're the only team that
lost his leg last night.
Dude, it was PTSD from the last time. We don't act like we're the only team that gets injured. But when you say things like you can't run the football and stuff, your simple mind can't comprehend that the entire reason the Patriots are so good and Brady's so good is when he has his receivers and even his second string receivers, he gets rid of the ball so quick. You can't just they never a running team. They're a pass-first team, and with no wide receivers or nobody to throw to, he sits there with the ball, and he's been getting obliterated for 2 weeks. So you almost have to take running and punting just to keep him healthy because you need him at the end. Everything is down the road. That's what you guys don't get. When you're teams like you fighting and scratching just to get to 500, we're big picture here in New England. Everything is, how is this going to affect us February 2nd, 2016? That's all we care about.
I think my favorite last night was when someone said the Patriots are the most injured team. Name one team more injured. The Ravens have way more injuries. Then they said, well, name a team that's actually good. And I said, well, the Cowboys were good until Romo went down. Okay. And then everyone said, well, Romo goes down every year. Gronk goes down every year. Okay. It's the same fucking thing.
He doesn't. But I can live with that.
Goes down every fucking year.
Every team gets injured. No teams go through. Those two teams you just listed, they're licking the cellar. We're 10-1. We're still. That's what makes us so fucking great. We're the only team that people are still talking about with all these injuries. Danny boy.
Dave, tell me last year. What? Probably the best injury luck of any team ever last year.
Who?
The Patriots.
Ooh. I don't know about that. Why do you say that?
Dude, you didn't lose anyone.
What do you mean we didn't lose anyone?
You don't even remember because all you think of is like, I got fucking Lombardi trophies in my closet. I don't even know what happened last year.
Defensive tackle, middle linebacker, week 4. Feidelberg just said. I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, Feidelberg just said, not you.
No, injury is a part of the game. Again, Dan, I'm on to Philadelphia. Like, I'm not doing this backwards revisionist shit.
It's fine.
All right, that's
on to Philadelphia unless the refs are bad, and then I'm not on. I don't like that.
All right, yeah, we lost one game. We're 10. We've lost this. I know it's the miracle on ice for you, Kevin. Congratulations.
If you actually acted like that, it would have been great. If you were just like, yeah, we're 10-1, no big deal. Then we could have talked about Kobe.
All I care about was Gronk. I said I didn't care about the game. You're gonna say it didn't. When the game was in doubt and it looked like we were gonna win.
No. I mean, unless you won and then it's kill everybody.
I only care about Gronk. What?
Dave, you telling us that we're like pretend like this is the biggest deal. Every single week, you say that you ripped the guts out, the hearts, the lungs. You're killing everybody. Goodell made you. You make every single week a fucking thing, and you rub it in our face. We actually didn't even go that crazy.
I thought you were pretty overboard and really.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is you. This is
classic.
Dish can't take it.
I can take it. Of course, I can take it. I'm telling you the truth. You just make shit up.
I can take it. I swear, I'm fine. I can take it. Yeah, you really can take it, bro. Crybaby pussy.
Check your email.
Pussy. Sorry, we're playing for Super Bowl. Something you don't know anything about, Kevin.
Yeah.
You don't.
Good one, man. Good one. Lombardi trophy. Yeah. You're still a pussy. you're still annoying.
You are in the comment section. I try to have an intelligent discussion, and it's just you're a pussy. Your mother.
Comment section. Your analysis of Patriots games are
your comment section.
Your own fans don't even like you anymore.
Yeah, that's not true.
That's how annoying you got.
Yeah, that's why Black Friday almost bankrupted me on Patriot shit.
We had to get that one in there. How you're a fucking hero. The Black Friday joke is unbelievable because you're just blatantly being a dick about how much money you have to everything, and you can see how much you love it. It just shows who you really are as a person because you genuinely love talking about all your money.
What I generally love is people retweeting their items. So when they retweet it, other people on their timeline see it and buy more, and it's brilliant. And it's something so far above your intellect, Kevin, that I wouldn't expect you to understand. But when they write marketing books 100 years from now, and people are robots and they have like magnetic arms and robotic legs, and they're like, who had the greatest marketing stunt of all time? It'll be this guy right here, who got all his readers who supposedly hate him to act like they're bankrupting him. Most of them are in on the joke, but to all retweet it and create this tidal wave that he rode right to Nantucket.
Right. Nobody doesn't understand that. What I'm saying is that you can see deep down, it's just all about the money for you and how happy it makes you. It's telling. It's Portnoy in a nutshell.
Dave, that Black Friday, I didn't realize that was you at the Celtics game because everyone was tweeting me like Portnoy's at the Celtics game, and it was a random bald spot until after. There must have been about 700 pictures of your bald spot sent to me.
No.
I had no idea because I was like, oh, this is stupid. Like, everyone keeps showing me this guy's bald spot. And then did the First Lady trip? She fell?
Yeah, she took a huge digger, like monster, like into the tarmac, beer everywhere, laying on the ground. It was a disaster.
Part of me wishes we had a video of the whole thing, but having just the last clip of it where you see her like legs fly up was almost better. Like, you leave it to the imagination what actually happened after that part.
It was very embarrassing for me. It's like, act like a professional for one time. Like, I was embarrassed. She was on the ground. She wouldn't get up. And I'm like, you're embarrassing me.
You were like Bill Clinton walking up the steps, like shaking hands, fist pounding. It's
awesome. America over here.
People tell me how many shirts they bought.
You can't have that. You can't have that. That's one you got to talk about later in the locker room. Like, you can't have that kind of fall when you're trying to get everyone, like, oh, there goes Prez.
And she wouldn't get up. She like just laid on the ground.
What do you mean?
With these huge eyeballs, like stunned, looking at me, and I was just like, get up. Like, I need you upright. I need you upright right now. We can't have this.
Did you guys leave right away?
What?
Did you leave right then?
We were leaving. It was on the way out. Celtics were up like 30. It was like 4 minutes left. We left. And then she had some cockamamie excuse. She's like, I knew I was falling from like the third. We were low, and we walk up to the top. She's like, I knew I was going down from the third step. The steps weren't adding up right, or something.
I know what she's talking about. Her saying the steps weren't adding up is a hilarious way to put it. But when you're in an arena and you have those like half steps, it gets a little weird. So all of a sudden it's like a snowball, and you're losing, But saying the steps weren't adding up and I knew I was going down is hilarious.
And again, I said after, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's on tape somewhere, because it was. A couple people sent it.
You need to be getting VIP better than that. Like, you should be exiting like through the tunnel with the players. Like you shouldn't have to walk past everyone.
I like it. I'm a man of the people. I don't want to. That's something you would do, Dan. Like, oh, let me sneak my way out of there. No, I want to shake hands, say hello, thank everybody for buying T-shirts, and my wife has to go make a fool out of me by like sprawling all over the beer. She had a full beer. It went everywhere.
Because I didn't sit in the Wrigley bleachers 50 times this year.
Also, yeah, it was like the only thing. It was in the tunnel, so like you couldn't see where she was laying for the most part, but it was actions unbecoming of like me.
First lady.
Of me. It put me in a bad spotlight.
It's all about you, babe. It's all about you.
So
your first lady's dead on the ground. Like, get up. You're making me look bad.
She didn't have a pop-up instinct. Like when you fall, you get right up. You don't look back.
It's like a concussed guy who's got to get right up to be like, I'm not concussed. I'm not concussed.
Yeah. No, she laid there like with scared eyes and just like, oh my God, I'm on the ground. And it was like, yeah. Get up.
Get up.
Get up.
Anyways, that's a rundown. That rundown stunk, and you guys made it bad because you wouldn't have intelligent conversations.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. That was the throwing something even more absurd on the pile to make me like you again.
Okay. I just hope people can watch that rundown with a critical eye.
You are our first lady falling over. We are embarrassed to be a part of this website because of you at this point.
We constantly, every Monday, we come on this show and say, get up with our eyes. And you
are sitting there on the rundown, like laying there like Renee, like looking up, like, oh, I just fell. And you won't get up.
Get up, Dave.
Makes no
sense.
Up.
Just get up.
Get up.
Again, that makes no sense. And again, proves my point.
Get up.